that we see in family offices. And it looks something like what is on this slide, okay? The one thing that we see in every family office, with one exception over the years that we've been doing this research, across thousands of single and multifamily offices, there's only been one exception to this rule, and that is investments, and the investment process is at the core of every family office. And that includes both asset allocation, investment strategy, and manager selection, okay? Everything else is tailored depending on the needs of the customer base. There is nothing else as ubiquitous as investing, okay? So investing is usually the core capability, but it can include many other aspects of investing. The second big bucket of services we see are administrative in nature, okay? It's tax preparation, bookkeeping, data aggregation, investment reporting, the sexy stuff, okay? Third big bucket we call advanced planning, okay? It's wealth transfer, estate planning, philanthropy, asset protection. More often than not, we're now seeing a much closer relationship between investments and advanced planning, because you get your best results when you're thinking holistically about the program, when your investment strategy actually accommodates the things that you're trying to accomplish in terms of asset protection, tax efficiency, and philanthropy, and estate planning. Okay? Fourth big bucket we broadly refer to as lifestyle, because it's things that fall outside of the strict investment scope and might include healthcare concierge, like Russ mentioned, or traditional concierge services. It might be help with collectibles. It could be help staffing an estate. It could be personal security. It could be any number of things. 10 years ago, when we began our first family office study, when you looked at this platform, the services to the left, investments, were really considered more of a commodity, and the further you got out to the right, closer to advanced planning and lifestyle services, they were viewed as more of the value add, the differentiator, because people were just getting into that space and realizing that they could actually have really deep, robust relationships with clients if they were involved in their personal affairs as well. What has changed? Okay. After 2008, and not just because 2008, but that really precipitated a lot of this critical thinking, many family offices took a close look, and I'm including single, multi, and commercial-oriented family offices, took a close look at their operations and said, you know what, our eye was way off the ball. We are spread way too thin, and we haven't actually figured out how to price these services that well. Almost everyone figured out that when you offer really specialized things on the right-hand side of this slide, like assistance developing an art collection or a vintage car collection, and you're pricing things on a line item basis, it starts getting frustrating for the client. They start feeling nickel and dimed. And so a lot of organizations then backed up and said, okay, we're just gonna do everything in a bundled asset-based fee. But that makes it hard for the organization to really understand how much time is going into non-investment related activities and how profitable they are on a per client basis. So what was once perceived as a value add and a distinguisher actually became the reverse in the post-2008 environment. And we found that family offices were pulling back on those services. They were saying, let's focus on the one thing that needs to get done right, which is investments. And let's keep investments and advanced planning in-house because there's a deeper relationship there. And let's find appropriate outsourcing relationships to provide the other things. So there's still, I would still say about 80% of the family offices we talk to maintain a lot of the administrative work in-house because they've got the systems and the infrastructure in place. But where they can outsource it, they do. Almost all lifestyle services are outsourced. And what else falls into this bucket? Well, there are a couple trends I've seen recently. The first is, particularly among multi-generational families, a real interest in things like helping the family plan and communicate its legacy, establishing governance protocols, maybe working with family members to create a mission statement or priorities for the family that they will try and work on together over the next 3 to 5 years, which is a very unique kind of service that usually requires psychologists and other heavily educated people to help the family through those discussions. The fifth bucket out on the side that I also want to mention is something that we've seen emerge in the last 5 to 7 years, and that is an increased interest in offering private investment banking services at the family office level, specifically for families that are interested in either buying or selling interests in companies or intellectual property, maybe taking a family business public, but also raising capital. So it's doing deals and funding. More often than not, it's doing deals, but it's a very specific service that's specific to certain types of families. Right now, not a lot of family offices make this available, but the ones that do find that it's an integral part of the relationship that they have with the families they need. So my point on this slide is that there is in fact a basic platform, but my recommendation is not to run out and immediately develop the network that you need to deliver on all of these things and then some. It's know that you have to bring investments to the table and some other core services that are probably advanced planning and administrative in nature, and let everything else expand based on the needs of the client.